Welcome back, and hope that we don't have to reboot this one more time. Today we have the fabulous guest of the Genius Man, and today we are going to be exploring the autobiographical life of the Genius Man. Topic of the hour: life in and after care. Let's hopefully wait for him to log on. Fingers crossed, no technicalities, because second time now, rebooting. Guys, in the meanwhile, for anyone who's watching this, please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend if you have experienced going within the care system. I'd love to hear your story. We listen and we don't judge. Yeah, seriously. Perhaps you are a parent who had to make the decision of placing your child or children into care. Let me know your story. I'd love to hear it. So tonight's discussion is about Genius's experience of being within the care system. Thank you. And what you doing here? Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm having issues with the guests logging on. They can see me, I can't see them, and all that kind of stuff. So, Instagram, see, I could be having my beats right now. Major beats in the background. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Please tell me, Paige, maybe. Oh my God, Instagram, please stop playing with me. Yeah. Problems. We having problems. We've been at this for like, I don't know how long. Plan B. It's always good to have a plan B, but let's see what happens. I might have to pull out the plan B. It's definitely Instagram, because he's actually gone onto a whole different page that he has and he's still not getting on. And I can see you sent the request and I'm trying to accept you, but it's not allowing you. Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Just maybe. Let's see. It said it would allow you, but I'm not sure. I'm sorry for the delay, guys. I think he might be rolling in. Maybe. Right. I was saying this ring light is being my star because it's got the. Oh my gosh! Like,
Can you see me?
can you see me?
Yeah.
Oh my God. All
Yeah.
right. Let's just say amen because,
Yeah.
Instagram be playing with us, right? Let me
Yeah.
readjust myself. Right. Okay. Let me, 1 second. Let me get rid of the writing in my face.
Oh.
Oh, so you're showing eyes today. You get bright. You're showing
Yeah.
eyes today, are you? Yeah. I
Yeah.
was
Good
saying
man.
to you that I'm a bit of the glasses queen, and then
Hmm.
the ring light it just spoils my whole vibe because you see these if
Yeah.
I'm looking down anywhere. Yeah, I've got my reading glasses here as well. All right, welcome, genius.
Yeah.
How are
Welcome.
you
You're right.
doing, guys?
Yeah.
If you don't know, this is the Genius Man, and we are going to be exploring the autobiographical life of the Genius Man. And
Yeah.
the topic of the hour is a life in and after care. Yeah,
Yeah.
agree? Well,
Hmm.
I thought I could introduce you to my bit of my warm up zone. Are you up for it?
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah.
Well done.
Just
Go on.
let me take these off because I can't take this. I can't take this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to
Yeah.
put these on. These ones are like my proper 2020s, yeah? All right, so let's do a bit of the warm-ups. But before we do, allow me to ask you, how did you spend your day today before coming on?
You know what? It was a
Good.
quiet one. Just went out for lunch with the missus and just
No.
yeah, just a. I wouldn't even say relax. I'm still trying to catch up with Cobra Kai. So I'm on season 4,
Oh,
episode 7. Yeah, episode
oh,
7.
okay. So you
Yeah,
had a chill day
yeah, yeah,
while you're
yeah. I'm off
prepping
for two
for
weeks
me,
anyway.
yeah?
So yeah, I'm off for 2 weeks. I'm just making the most of it.
Oh, perfect. So I booked you at
Mm.
the right time. Okay, brilliant.
Yeah,
Perfect,
yeah.
perfect. So let's wrap you into the warm-up
Mm.
zone. Yeah. All right. And
Mm.
just this the warm-up zone is I call it a moment where I can so connect with you and it allows the viewers who will watch the playback, whoever doesn't
Mm.
join us tonight, to get to know you differently
Yeah.
outside of the genius man. Yeah.
Mm.
All right. So let's start with if you had a superpower, what would it be? That's if you don't already have the superpower. Yeah. What you're already the genius, man. But if you had a superpower, what would it be and why?
It'll be healing. It'll
That's
be
my one.
healing.
You can't have the same as me. Not fair.
I'm serious. No
Yeah.
way. Yeah. Is
I'm
that what you
my own little
said?
healer, but not in the way I'd really
Okay.
want to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be that.
Me
You know why?
too.
Because you have so many people nowadays that are sick. You see what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And I know from time to time, I don't know if you see it, from time to time I will do videos and I'll
Mm-hmm.
use my journey of what I experienced last year in
No, I
January. I don't
haven't
know if
seen
I
it.
told you, yeah.
Oh.
So January last year,
Mm-hmm.
I was diagnosed with high blood pressure,
Really?
diabetes, high cholesterol levels, and the GP, the doctors wanted to give me medication, and I said to them, "What's the alternative? I don't do medication." And
Mm-hmm.
and in all fairness, the situation that happened to me, I'd say, is just laziness because I'm a fasting individual. I know about fasting
Yeah,
and
me too.
but
Me too, for sure.
it's yeah, the fact that when you become relaxed and I just didn't really take my health seriously. So when they
Okay.
said to me they wanted to give me medication, I said, "What's the alternative?" So they said to me, "Lifestyle changes." Um,
Food
the guy
dietary,
that
etc.
yeah, so the guy that saw me actually was an Indian doctor, and he said that our culture
Mm-hmm.
is known to be, to have lots of meats and rice. So we're prone to getting a lot of these
Yeah.
illnesses. So,
Mm-hmm.
he said to me, yeah, I could give you this high blood pressure, and it will go down. I said, no, 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 I won't do that. I'll try the lifestyle change. So I went from a waist 36 to
Oh,
waist
wow.
32. Yeah, so
Okay.
so the waist 32. Um, I just ate clean for about just for over a month. I just cut out chocolate, fizzy drinks, alcohol, and I was just eating, just for the month. And then what I did do though was
Mm-hmm.
add exercise into my daily life. So I do like an hour of running
Mm-hmm.
or jogging in the morning, and then on my lunch break I do 45 minutes of walking.
Okay.
I do
So
yeah, two
wrap us in
liters.
now without telling too much. Sorry to cut, without telling too
Yeah.
much of this part. Tell us, we
Yeah.
want to get to your superpower. So you would say healing. So what type of healer would you be? You're trying to get to the self-healing. I'm seeing it. So what kind of healer would you be?
Um,
I've got to bring you back to the bullet point where we're going to go into the live before we know it.
that's
Yeah?
true. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah?
that's true.
So go on.
Healer of all manner of sicknesses and diseases.
So you're going to be like a Dr. Sebi, or just you want to touch people and then they just heal? What kind of healer?
Not even a Dr. Sebi, a Dr. Daniel.
Oh,
That's what I mean.
okay. We like that. All right. All
Yeah,
right. Okay.
yeah,
So what
yeah.
would be your greatest fear, if any?
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm. Wait for the love heart, guys. Go on.
I'd say not manifesting the healing and healing as much people as I can. That will
Mm-hmm.
be it. Because I don't really operate in the realm of fear. That's what I mean. Because
You're
when
about
you
the third
fear,
person to say that to me lately. Mm-hmm.
the very thing you fear can come upon you. So I do my best to not operate in that realm. So I mean, yeah.
Okay. All right. So do you have a guilty pleasure?
Oh what?
A guilt, do you have a guilty pleasure? Now, another way I said it is quite suggestive, but that could be ice cream, that could be crisp, that could be biscuit, it could be thinking too much. That's down to you, yeah? But I said
You,
it in a way that, I'm trying to be extra, trying to be dramatic
you,
for sure.
you
Work with
threw
me.
me off there.
I know.
I was thinking,
It's a voice. It's a voice. Tell them.
yeah. Yeah. Do you know
Yeah.
what?
Do you have a
My
guilty
appetite
pleasure?
for apple pie. Yeah.
Is it? How often do you
Um,
eat it? Tell me the truth. Don't lie to me. I'll find out the truth.
weekly. Well, to be honest, I've been good. Bramley, is it Bramley? Is it Bramley or yeah, it's yeah, the popular one. That's about £2.
Oh,
You get it in,
what, is
yeah.
that was custard or ice cream? Tell me everything.
I'm not a custard person, so I tend to have caramel ice cream. That's my favorite, and
Oh,
I also love Kit Kat. But in saying that, I'd say to you that I have a crazy appetite for avocado, so I'll eat
oh, that's good.
three avocados a
You,
day. Three avocados a
do you
day.
do the black pepper on it and lime juice, lemon juice, or just like back it
No,
raw?
no,
Which one?
no. So with the avocado, I'll have it with the it's like seasoning. What's it called? All savory.
All peppers,
That's the
spices,
one.
or
Yeah, but
peanuts?
it's
Yeah.
yellow. Yeah, it's yellow. Yeah, that one. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Your answers. You're
yeah,
such a good boy, innit, with your answers, isn't it? What chew about avocado? All
yeah.
right. Your last warm-up
Avocado.
question that will lead us straight into the actual talk of the hour,
Hmm.
which is, how would you describe yourself as a child? Let's get into that and why.
That's a very good question. If let me backtrack now. Yeah, let me
You can take
backtrack.
your time. Let that sit. Like, how would you describe yourself? There may be elements to that, but it would still lead us into the dialogue. So it's a perfect ending to the warm-up zone, really.
Mischievous.
Yeah. Really? I feel like you're
Yeah.
still the same. You just give me that vibe. Tell me the
Yeah.
truth.
To be honest with you, to be honest with you, even as a kid, I didn't get into any sort of trouble. That's what I mean. I was kind of like old school in terms of just growing up. There was none of this staying at friends' house or my stepmom was strict, so it was literally school, home. So I mean,
Oh, me
no
too. That's why I
friends
ran
coming
away, of
around.
course, but that's a whole nother show.
Yeah, so yeah, literally it was school, home. And then
Mm.
obviously, what would have been a treat for me was going down. At the time, I lived in Charlton, so a treat to me was going down to get the bloomer, the loaf of bread, and then coming back. So that was
Oh,
yeah, because I didn't have an ordinary childhood, so something like that where it was a bit of freedom, but it was to literally go and get
the bread.
the bloomer. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So you
So
would say you would describe yourself as mischievous. Okay.
mm,
Thank you for the warm up. My questions are
mm,
always about allowing it just I feel it takes us to another place and allows you to be more
yeah,
relaxed and then you get to know something different about you and share a bit of humor
mm,
along the way. All
yeah,
right. So today's topic of the hour, life within and aftercare. Shall we start
mm.
with um let's start with what led you to going into care. But perhaps if there's another way that you would like to initiate the beginning, please feel free.
No, no, no.
What was the catalyst of you going into care? What was life like, if you don't mind? Anything you find too difficult or too
No, 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 no.
personal?
Oh God, no.
All
Listen,
right.
I'm a strong guy, man. I'm not. Yeah,
It's not about,
them
but let me
I
just
mean,
say disclaimer. I don't thank you for
yeah,
that, but I don't always
yeah,
think it's about strength. I think, and I tell you this now, everyone who's watching, who watched the playback, often
mm,
it's not even about I'm strong enough to say it. There are times
yeah,
in life where we can disclose, and other times where we may find something sacred, and
yeah.
that's okay too. Yeah.
No, thanks for that.
So
Yeah,
I'm just
no,
giving you that
100%.
window of saying you are allowed to curve me and say, listen, next question. If you feel like, guess what, I want to keep that for me and mine, or I don't want to go into that, So that's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for being transparent.
To be totally honest with you,
Yeah.
D, if I felt that there wasn't any questions that wouldn't feel comfortable to answer, I just wouldn't do the life simple because I feel that if you're gonna do something like this, just
Mm-hmm.
do it. Go all the way or don't do it, period. This is what I mean?
All right,
Because there
you just
might
press
be
my intense button. Let's go.
that,
Don't play with me.
but
Okay, you
that's
already
me.
know.
That's it,
I'm
yeah,
trying to save
yeah.
you, but okay, you want to go there. Okay, let's do
Yeah,
All
so
right, all
that
right.
situation, with the situation with care,
Can
I remember at the time my dad met his partner.
can I
With,
pause you?
yeah,
Can we go into, if you don't mind, can we start with what was the situation surrounding the motive, the reasons for what led you to go into care? Let's start there. Give us the
Oh yeah,
trailer.
yeah. Yeah, it's literally that. So
Okay.
basically, my dad met this woman. It was a Nigerian woman. He met
Hmm.
her, and what had happened is I was staying with my dad at the time in Brixton. Yeah,
Hmm.
this is when I remember I used to live in Lees Court. So he met this woman, and then all I know was that I was now living with this woman in Francis Street.
Hmm.
So, as a child, I was confused. That's what I mean, because obviously it's like I'm with this. Just imagine being, a young child, and then you're with basically a complete stranger. So,
Was your dad absent at this point? He give us. Is there a Luke missing there? A puzzle? Like, where was your dad when you said you was left with this woman?
so basically at the time I was living in Brixton, but for some reason he made me live with this woman. So when in terms of him being absent, he wasn't living with her. So it was a thing where he kind of was doing his own thing,
Hmm.
and I was basically just living with this woman. And all I remember at the time as well was I remember asking for my toys. I said, "Oh, can you bring my toys?" I do remember that. I've
Hmm.
got a very good memory. And I remember him coming one day and he brought all my toys in a black bag.
So
This
where
is what I
was your mum
mean.
at this point? May I ask, of course, as well,
So
the viewers'
yeah,
knowledge,
yeah, yeah,
is
yeah,
there
yeah,
a reason
absolutely, yeah.
why you lived with your father
Yeah.
and your mum wasn't present, or your mum
So
wasn't taking care of you?
no, no. So what had happened is my dad always said to my mum, if for whatever reason, if they ever split up, I'm to stay with him.
Okay.
So that was the situation.
Okay.
You see what I mean? So they broke up at some point and I was living with my dad.
Okay.
And I think I know I went to see my mum probably every so often on the weekends, but yeah, that was the situation. So they split up. Obviously my dad moved on with his life, and then yeah, he ended up seeing this woman, and yeah, I just basically started to stay with this woman. It was supposed to be temporary arrangement, yeah,
Mhm.
but I started to go to school down there, and then I can't recall obviously the events, but all I know is that they were due to move.
Right.
In between that time of them moving, I was sent to stay with a foster family in Brighton. It was a white family in Brighton, and the woman had two young boys, and it was myself. So I was sent off to Brighton in a Granada. I think at the time it was called a Granada. It's one old car. It was a Granada car, but I think with the Brighton cabs, they're very distinctive, so they just look
Mhm.
fancy. So yeah, and then I was just literally my belongings were put in the cab, and I was sent on a long journey to Brighton. Yeah.
Okay, so let's pause there for a moment.
Mm.
What was like, did anybody around that time, and remind, what age were you,
I was um
if you can remember?
probably just I definitely remember I was at the time I was in is it, I was definitely around about between 7 and 8, I'd say around about that age. Yeah,
Very
7 and 8.
young.
Yeah,
Did
yeah, yeah, yeah.
anyone, yeah, did anyone at all communicate to you in that child-friendly language what was going to be happening and what was happening, why you dad wasn't present, and did anyone explain anything to you?
No, not to my recollection, I'll be totally honest with you, because I just literally just
Mm.
remember that part. And obviously being so long ago, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that I remember, but I do all I can say to you is, yeah, I just was on a journey, and I just ended
Mm.
up being told that obviously it was only, all I know is that I was told it's only going to be temporary. That's all I know. This I
Do
mean, and
you
obviously
remember
being a child at
any
the
thoughts?
time.
Do you remember any
Hmm?
thoughts in terms of like what's happening? Did you have what I'm trying
Yeah,
to? I
yeah,
have to
yeah,
know what we all kind of dialogue very differently, and
yeah,
it'd be interesting to know as a boy what
yeah.
your thoughts were at that time.
Definitely scared, to be honest with you, because
Mm.
this I mean, it's like you've gone from people that you know to
Yeah.
now complete strangers. This what I mean, and it's like it was daunting.
Mm.
I just remember being in the cab with my stuff, and this what I mean, and the cab man just obviously talking, during the journey. But yeah, it was like a whole kind of, how can I put it? It was just like a whole. different worlds. This is what I mean, because obviously where I live in, it was like in the countryside, so it was deep into Brighton,
Wow.
and this is what I mean. So yeah, it was a scary experience because you can
Mm.
imagine now. I'm just being told that I'm going to be staying with a family, and that is
Mm.
only all I remember being told that it's going to be a temporary arrangement. I will be back, but obviously, yeah, that's it. No ins and outs. The reason why. These are, these are what I mean.
And you were in that cab by yourself.
Yeah, yeah, all
Wow.
by myself. Yeah,
When you arrived at the family, what do you recall being your first impression?
it was. They were very welcoming. I
No,
remember,
that's
I remember, I remember, and it's really crazy. I actually remember the woman's name. And I remember the two young boys. It's crazy. The
you're not
memory
in
is
touch
powerful.
with,
Yeah,
remember. Mm.
yeah,
So
but they
they
were very
hmm
they were very lovely family. Like I can't tell you any bad experiences. You know what I mean? Like they welcomed me. I remember, when I entered into their home, they told me where my bedroom was going to be. They took my belongings.
mm
And what they did say to me is that, oh, every Thursday we have movie night. And what happened was there was a guy that would come around with a box of videos, and it was
hmm
cartoons. So it's like I think they paid, I don't know, a certain amount of money, but it would come around every week, and there would be like certain cartoons that you can get to rent for a few days. And I was told to choose. And I remember, obviously, at then I was into Knight Rider, A Team, Superman. So yeah, I do remember that very much. Things like that, you
Do you
know.
know, I'm looking at you as I'm kind of like, obviously I'm experiencing the trailer and I'm
Yeah.
actually smiling, even though we're talking about in some areas what won't be so nice for you.
Hmm.
The fact that your face is lit up of the memory of the cartoons and what you liked,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
made me
yeah,
smile. There's little things like that, and it sounds so
yeah.
bizarre because we're adults now, but these are the things that we hold on to, the things
Oh
that
God,
did
yeah,
make us smile, the
yeah,
things that
yeah,
were positive,
definitely, yeah,
you know?
yeah, definitely,
So that
yeah.
that is nice. So how long, before I go into how long actually, so day one, what was your first day like? So you went there, you unpacked your stuff, they showed
Hmm,
you your room.
hmm.
Did you get a phone call from dad or your stepmom or your biological mom? Did your biological mom spend any time in contact with you at all?
No, now that you said that, no, no. I do remember. I think I got maybe weekly calls just
Mm.
to see, how it was.
That
But yeah,
from your
it,
dad?
yeah, and yeah, it was me. Yeah, mainly for my dad.
So
Yeah,
your
yeah.
your father done the weekly calls. Did your stepmother? You said sometimes she might call, or sometimes she would check in, or
I think yeah, she did.
yeah.
Yeah, at some point she did. Yeah, at some point she did. Yeah,
So for the understanding, let's go back a bit to go forwards. You said that the agreement was if they ever separated your parents, that your dad would have you, and that's what he done. Do you
yeah.
think? Do you know of any reason, or have you ever? Yeah. Do you know of any reason for why that prevented your mum though for getting in touch, checking in? What was that? What? Tell me a
To,
bit more
to, to
about
be
that.
to be quite honest with you, that arrangement was set by my dad, and
Right.
obviously I know my mum was scared of my dad anyway. I know that much.
Yeah,
That's what I mean.
I'm getting
And
to where that could,
yeah, yeah,
what
yeah,
that was
yeah,
about.
yeah,
Was
yeah,
he
yeah,
told
yeah.
not to, or
Yeah,
was it,
so
oh,
hmm?
okay. Was your
Yeah,
mom
yeah,
told
that
not to
was.
be in touch type thing?
To be honest, I think they in touch. Let me. How did this? That's actually a very good question because actually now just kind of thinking back,
Sorry to
actually
your mum, I've just started something, haven't I?
no, but
Sorry.
I'm just thinking.
Mm,
No, no, don't apologize. I'm just
mm,
thinking back. Actually, I don't think I really heard from my mum, to be honest with you. I think at some
mm,
point, obviously, this is prior to obviously ending up going back to live with her. That's another. That's probably something that we can talk about maybe
mm,
later on down the line. But
mhm.
at some point, I did get there was some sort of contact. Do you see what I mean? But during that period of time, what I can tell you, yeah, there was 100% there was no contact. I don't have no memories of that at all. So I don't, and actually in saying that, I don't even think my mum even knew that I was in care. It's only when
Mm.
obviously when I went back to live with her at some point is when I told her, and she was shocked because obviously she would have rather I went and stayed with her, other than me experienced being in. Just what I mean. So she never knew.
Okay. So let's
Yeah. So I
pause
think
on
she's happy
let's
about
pause,
that.
yeah. Let's get back to that a little bit later. Okay.
Mm.
So what was your day-to-day life like living with this family? And you said they had other foster children. So what was that like being with a Caucasian family as a black boy? Tell me about
Yeah.
that. Any
So
differences that you found, a challenge or the pluses or the cons? What was it like living with a Caucasian
yeah.
family?
Yeah. Let me add those. The two boys that were there were actually their biological children. Is what I mean. So
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
it was just only myself that was staying
Okay.
with that particular
Mhm.
family. That's what I mean. So
Mhm. So let's talk
but what
about
it
the
was like,
cultural differences and diversity, because obviously, disclaimer, we know that whether you're mixed race, whether you're African, Caribbean, black,
mm,
white, there's always going to
mm,
be a pro, con, and the stereotype of white families nurturing
mm,
or raising black children and vice
mm.
versa. So give us your honest take of what that was like for you being living with a white family, and how long did you live with them for?
um, to be honest, it was actually a good experience, and obviously being completely innocent. Obviously, I didn't know anything about racism, and obviously they couldn't be racist because obviously they weren't. I'm
And well, I mean,
assuming.
upon reflection, I was an adult, and yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but it was good. I mean, I was registered in the local school. I remember getting a brand new packed lunch because back then the packed lunch box used to be very fancy. I remember having a Ewok packed lunch. I remember, getting a matching bottle, crisps, Kit Kat. That's what I mean. And I also remember meeting their uncle, and
Mhm.
so there were some good times, like going out to meet their family, doing events like fun fair and going to clubs, stuff like that. So
Mhm.
it was good. When I started the school there, it was I do remember there was one thing I do remember, which was I was actually quite naughty because I remember I'd stolen someone's figures. But I don't know if you know, the back then, years ago, when you used to get cereals, they used to have like little
Toys
toys in the
inside,
packet.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is
There was
that
always boys' toys though. Like that wasn't fair.
that
Yeah,
the
yeah, I remember.
Weetabix the Weetabix used to have the stickers. I don't remember they used to have and
I remember that.
I think the Rice
Oh, no.
Krispies. Yeah, the Rice Krispies used to have the little you can make up the little toys and like the models and stuff like that. But what
Mhm.
it was, I was at school. I mean, at the school at the time, and I remember someone had um put something on display. Yeah, and I remember helping myself to it. And what I did,
Mm.
yeah. What I did, I put it in my sock, and then the classroom, everyone was told we're gonna do a search, and you're gonna empty your pockets and stuff. But I had put it in my socks. You know what I mean? But
Mm.
it was
You
quite
never did search your socks and find
no,
it.
no, 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 no. It was quite scary though because obviously it was
Mm.
like it was serious. They were like, someone's stolen this. We need to get to the bottom of it, and what's happened. And
Mm.
this, I mean. But other than that, it was that incident. But um, spelling, I used to back then. Spelling was a good thing as well. If you spelled good, you would get like a gold star for every spelling that you got right. But yeah, those are just probably one of I'd say maybe the main things I actually remember about being in school at that
So,
time.
as you're still talking about the school, did they, as a black child in Brighton, was it? Yeah. How did
Yeah.
they receive you? Did you experience, what were the pros and cons? Did you experience any negativity as a, minority in race or, yeah, shade, should I say, color?
No, not what I can remember.
I'm
The
so
oth-
glad that you had such a positive experience. Let me tell you,
oh,
I'm so glad for
yeah,
you.
I tell you, one I mind you say that I had one bad experience, and this was with someone that lived in the area, and yeah, it was a fight, and I lost my temper. The
What did
guy,
you
yeah,
do?
he dragged me up, yeah, dragged me up, and we got into a fight. And I used to have a bit of a temper back then,
Did
and I lost my
you?
temper. Yeah. I lost my
So allow me
temper.
to ask you before you carry on. When you said you had a bit of
Yeah.
a temper back then, what was the catalyst? Was that your childhood experiences, or what do you think provoked you to have that temper
I just,
from
to be
so
honest, it's
young?
just if anyone kind of upset me. I just had a bit. I was one of those children, yeah, that once I cried, I just lost my temper. Like, I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I
When you
do.
start crying,
I'd rather
yeah,
cry than get mad.
yeah,
That's because then I won't
that's
get
me. Yeah, that's I was like that.
mad.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but the guy
Oh.
he got the better of me, man, and just what I mean. And then the two young boys, obviously that I was staying with the foster parents, they came and they tried to stop it. But yeah, I actually think that that boy was actually racist. Come to think of it, you
Well,
know.
what happened? What did he say or do that gave
I
that?
just kind of, I can't, do you know what? I'll be lying to you if I can tell you I can remember, but I know it was definitely provoked. Do you ever remember this song? I tell you, I remember this. I remember a particular song that day as well. We're in the army now. Whoa, we're in the
Yeah.
army.
God, how do you remember that song? Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't
that
remember
just to
who
let you
sang
know.
it though,
Yeah,
but I remember hearing it.
yeah,
Mm.
that was yeah. He was one of them. He was one of those guy that was pretty much, from what I can recall, had that kind of war mentality. That's what I
Ah,
mean. He was very
okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
he was a bit of a bully. He was a bit of a bully.
Okay.
But yeah,
So
yeah.
your school journey was fine, no complexities. You were
Hmm,
completely fine. The foster family treated you nice. What about the
hmm.
food and maybe any cultural differences?
Oh
How was
God,
that for
English
you?
food.
Did you adapt immediately? You was fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was just English food. Sausages, mash. Yeah, there was no Caribbean or cultural. Yeah, it was
Mhm,
just the standard. But
mhm.
breakfast in the morning. You see what I mean? One thing I do remember as well. Those children, they were blessed, man. Like they had loads of toys. I was into the Transformers back then, and
Mhm.
they had a lot of the Transformers, the A-Team figures, Airwolf. So I can remember all those things. You know what I mean, like literally
Okay.
like yesterday. Yeah. So They had a lot of toys, and I remember making and creating and trying to. You know what I mean, make things out of those Transformers. So yeah.
So allow me to ask you a relevant question. Did you have any other biological siblings that had not gone into care? Do you have any biological to my memory? Do you have any
God,
brothers or sisters?
yeah, loads, loads.
From
But obviously,
from your mom's side, from your mom.
no, from my mum's side, there's just one. But obviously, different dads. Just obviously,
Yeah,
same mums.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the rest of your siblings remained with your mother?
So
Yeah?
yeah. My sister did. Yeah, yeah. My
Okay.
sister did. Yeah.
Did that have any reflective impact on you? Like, were you too young to register, or was you able to register? Well, I'm in care. Why are they not? Or did you
Do
have
you
any? Was
know what
that
it
were you too
was?
young to?
To be quite honest with you, you see,
Mm,
even with that situation, obviously, I was in care before I went to go and live with my mum. So obviously, before obviously getting to meet my sister and that, I I was living with my dad. So it's only later on throughout the years that I actually came to go and live with my mum, and that's when I learned that I had a baby sister. You see what I mean?
so by the
So
time you left, mom had another child. Right.
yeah,
Got
yeah.
you.
So I only went to go and live back with my mum. This was after being in care, and this is obviously when I came out of care. I went to go and stay in the new place that they bought together
Hmm.
at the time, and then
Hmm.
obviously due to certain situations, being unhappy, that's when I asked, as I got a bit older, to go and live with my mum because I was very unhappy at the time. I didn't like the way it was being treated. You know what I mean?
Let's go back to go forward. How long did you stay in the foster house for? Foster
I'd
home.
say I started in the school. I'd say literally just about a year. I'd say yeah, a year. It was
So
definitely a year, minimum a year, definitely,
after the
definitely, yeah.
year, where did you go next?
I went to go and live with my dad and his yeah, my stepmom
So you
in
left you
Charlton.
there for a year, then you then went back. Did your dad requested you to go back,
Yeah.
or?
Oh, but basically what it was, I remember one day I got a phone call and said, "Oh,
Mhm.
you're going to be going home." And I remember that day. Yeah, I ran across the field. I was so happy. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Not that I was unhappy with where I was staying, but obviously when I was told that, oh, you're going to be going home, where I lived, as I said, it was in the countryside. I remember this big field,
Mm.
and I just ran. I was so happy. I just ran all the way down and up. I was happy.
You
to be
you
told that,
actually
you know what?
remember that? Do you actually remember
Yeah,
that moment
I
right now?
remember that, man. Yeah, I
Okay. So
remember
as you
that. That's what
remember
I
that
wanted to
moment
tell you.
right now,
Yeah.
you said you were happy. Can you remember in this moment? Were there any other feelings other than exhilaration and happiness? Were there any other thoughts that you can remember right now that you'd like to share with us? That would be amazing, actually.
It was just being told that, oh, you're going to be going home. Your parents are going to come and, they're going to come for you,
Mm,
and I was like, oh, wow. So it was just obviously, it was like, I was happy because obviously I'm going back to go and, live with my dad. You know what I
mm,
mean? So it was just, as a child, like
mm,
it was, yeah, I was overjoyed. I was
mm.
overwhelmed.
So,
You know what I mean? I was
so
overwhelmed,
prior
man.
to going home and prior to going into in care, a little clip
Mm.
question here. What was your relationship? What was your dad's relationship like with you? What do you remember as a child before going
Very,
back,
very
before
good
you went into care? What was
question.
that like?
Very, very, very good question.
What was dad like as a father? And the reason why I'm going to ask that now is so that when you tell us about what it was like, there's a reason why you're giggling, and I can't wait to hear it. Yeah. The reason why I'm asking now, as opposed to
Yeah,
before, which I just remembered, is that when you return, it's going to
yeah,
be that question of what was it like. So I figured
yeah.
allow us to be aware of what was he like as a father, anywho, before you went into care. What was it? What was he like with you? What was the relationship like? As young as you were, what was he like?
Oh man, that's funny. It was there were good times. I'm not gonna lie, but I do remember the times, where I was kind of left on my own. There were some times, 'cause obviously, where I used to work in the evening, so I do remember there were times, unless there was a babysitter, where sometimes a friend would come along. There were times when I was on my own. Is what I
Mm,
mean? And being someone at the time was scared of the dark, so I'd turn on
mm,
the light, and I'd literally just stay in the room.
mm.
But but I
And you
think
were
at the
what,
time,
5'6", you said? 5'6", five,
yeah,
six, 7? Yeah.
around about that age, yeah. And
How many hours were you left alone? What was that? What was that? How
I'd
many
say,
hours?
good couple hours, yeah,
I
good
think
couple
back
hours.
in the day they used to call that latch. Is it key children back in the day?
I don't know, I've
Somebody
never heard of that.
correct me. Somebody correct me in the comments box.
Yeah,
Because I know that, to be honest, I remember whether you're African, Caribbean,
yeah,
or whatever,
yeah,
often mum will go out to work or dad go back to work. Maybe you might be home for a few hours after
yeah,
school. And for,
yeah,
maybe around, so I think at that age, I
yeah,
was very young as opposed to,
mm,
after kind of 11, 12 ages. But yeah.
mm. Yeah. All I remember, D, is obviously because I used to love Night Rider, so I do remember at the time Night Rider used to come in at 5:30, and I was always looking forward to doing that. But being a child, I do remember I was scared of the dark, so I would just literally stay in the bedroom and just have the light on and just literally just wait until obviously he got back, because I know he was a chef back then. But yeah, there were times when I did have a friend would come around to babysit, but if not, yeah. In terms of the relationship with my dad, it was good. I do recall some experiences, is what I mean, that weren't so great. One example was when I weren't listening. I was told to get off my mountain bike. I didn't. So the ones where you got the bike in the hallway, the bikes, then mountain bike is standing up against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So he told me to get off the bike, and I didn't get off, and he kicked the wheel, and I fell off, and I started crying. Yeah, so that was
Oh.
one. So I think for me to remember that, I was very young at the time, but being the age that I am now, I'm 47, and I can still recall them sort of things. What else?
Was there any other like general, you know, domesticated walk-ins, if you want to put it politely?
No, to be honest with you,
Okay.
it was to be honest, just literally
No
just
physical
being,
abuse in that way, then. Okay.
yeah, yeah, just yeah, just kind of been remembering the times being left, obviously at home, you know, by myself,
Mm.
obviously due to him having to work, you know.
Can I ask you a really probing question? This question is going to go forward, it's going to go back to go forward, and then we're going to leap straight into the next phase of the conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because you were left, and you wasn't just left because nobody loved you, so to speak. You're
yeah,
saying that you left because you was left at home because dad went to work, and
yeah,
Obviously, your stepmom was elsewhere and absent.
Mm.
Did that growing up, especially as a teenager, did you have any connection to the feeling of abandonment?
That's a good
And I don't
question.
even
I can.
mean, I'm going to start with, I don't even mean once you went into care, I just mean from being left at home, although you wasn't left as in don't want you at the time. Just, dad was out, stepmom was absent, and you didn't like the dark. And naturally you knew that you was left. And sometimes there was a child mind, as you said, sometimes there wasn't. Did it have any impact on you growing in terms of how you connected to people or latched onto people as you grew?
No, it
Teenagers,
didn't. You know. No,
right?
it didn't. Yeah, no, it didn't.
Okay.
It didn't. Yeah.
So let's fast forward then. So you returned back to your father, um,
Hmm.
and, and then what happened next? You left the foster house, went back to dad's. What was it immediately? What was the immediate impact of your return?
So they were now living together. So obviously they bought a place in Charlton,
Mhm.
and I remember they were getting married. I was
Mhm.
told that they were going to be getting married, and obviously I wasn't happy about it
Oh,
to the point.
why is
Yeah,
that?
to the point I cried because she was strict, man. She was
Was
strict.
he strict mean or was he strict
Strict
loving?
mean.
Okay. So
Strict.
mean just means that she
Yeah,
was not very
man.
nice. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Weren't nice, man.
Okay.
Weren't nice at all. I remember this was when I was living in Woolwich, yeah, Francis Street. I can remember
Mm.
I used to steal crisps. When I say steal crisps, like I would go and help myself to a packet of crisps in the cupboard. Yeah, I'd sneak and get them,
In the
which
house.
shows you that, yeah, that
Right.
shows you that there was an element of fear. I remember, and obviously at the time, how the arrangement was, there was no bed, so I remember sleeping on the floor. I remember, no,
Mhm.
actually, she used to sleep on the floor. I remember coming home, she had, one of those little wooden, it's like a wooden stick. So she was
Mhm.
sleeping on the floor. You have
Mhm.
the duvet on the floor. She had the wooden stick under the thing, and then she goes, "You've been stealing crisps." And she showed me one. I must have dropped a crisp. Yeah, I dropped a crisp. She
Mm.
goes to me, "You've been stealing crisps." And she just whacked me across my body a couple of times with that wooden stick.
Mm.
And I remember crying. Does what I mean? Like,
Mm.
yeah, stuff like
May,
that.
may I ask? I'm going to go back to go forward,
Yeah.
and for the sake of the public, also a question. What age were you when you returned back to your father?
I say primary school. When
Hmm.
so I'd say probably around 10, 11, I'd say.
Oh, so you're going towards
Yeah.
secondary. Okay, secondary school. Set.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
now
the
let's
school
go
at the
back.
time, yeah,
Hmm.
sorry, at the time when I went to, so I'd gone to, so it was basically, junior school. Yeah, in between that, yeah, it was junior. It wasn't second, it was definitely not secondary school because,
Hmm.
give me 1 minute, I'm just trying to,
That's all right. Take your time. Take your
yeah, yeah,
time.
yeah. Do you know what, D, it was when I was living with them, I never went to secondary school. So I'd gone to a few schools. I went to Woodhill, yeah, it was definitely, yeah. Is it junior? What? Yeah, infant. Yeah, prime. Yeah, it was definitely, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't second year. It was, yeah,
All right.
the normal, yeah, junior school. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about, did your father give consent? Was he okay with your stepmother basically being physical towards you with the smack that she gave you with the
I don't
object?
think I don't think he had any knowledge of this. If I'm being totally honest with you, because
Mm.
remember he wasn't living there. You know what I mean? He wasn't living there. You know what I mean?
So I thought they got the house together now when you
No. So
returned back.
this. So this the situation.
No?
No. So basically, what it is, I was speaking about the situation with how she was. Does that what I mean?
Ah,
So
okay.
at the time, I was living in Woolwich, and I had these experiences. Does that what I mean?
Okay.
So at the time when I was living with her in Woolwich, they from that period of time, that's when I was living in Brighton. When I came back from Brighton, they bought a property in Charlton together. So that's when I came back into a new place, into a new property, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
And in that new property, for clarification, they were
Mm.
living both together,
Yes,
or
yeah,
they was not?
yeah,
They
they were.
were.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah,
I'll allow you to roll
yeah,
now
yeah,
about
sure.
your little step. Go on. So you
Um,
moved back into the
mm.
property. What was the immediate impact? What was life like?
It's tough, man. It was strict. I couldn't do anything, man. It was literally
Mm,
education, educate. One thing I'll give her, one thing I'll give her is that in terms of education, like I would never fault her. Does that what I mean? Like she reading and stuff, I will
mhm.
give her the praise all day
Brilliant.
long. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'll give praise where praise due. But in terms of the love and the way I was treated, yeah, it was hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was hard. I was
Mm,
unhappy for many, many years. This what I mean, to the point, yeah,
mm.
that I was displaying bad behavior in the new school.
Wow.
I was a problem child. Is that what I mean? Disruptive and playing around and this what I mean? Disruptive, man.
So you've connected now as an adult that the disruption that you was causing was based on the incidents. Do I dare use the word traumatic incidents, or do I just
I
use
would
the
say
word?
yeah, because
Yeah.
she was strict, man. Wasn't nice
Mhm.
at all, man. And I was always fearful. Is that what I mean?
Mm,
Always fearful, man. And
yeah.
I think for me, going to school was kind of like, how can I put it? Going to school was kind of like a bit of freedom, even though it
Mhm.
wasn't. But
I get
it gave me
exactly
a
what
chance
you mean.
to experience.
Mm.
Remember, I didn't have any friends. No friends could come to the house. It wasn't like that. Never went out to play on this. It wasn't, yeah, it was literally the garden. And then
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
and obviously for me, I tell you what a treat was for
I
me.
can
A treat
relate
for
to
me was,
that.
yeah,
Strict, yeah.
a treat for me was going to being told that yeah we're dressing up and going to go and visit one of her sisters. That was a treat to me. That was like,
Mm.
oh, that's something great, just to let you know the levels of what it was.
Did she
You know, going,
did she have any biological children of her own?
yes, there was, yeah, the my stepbrother, and then she had two she had two girls from my dad. Yeah,
Yeah? Okay.
two, yeah. So
So the two girls
one.
for your dad, how were they treated in comparison to yourself?
If I'm totally honest, better, man. Yeah, billion percent. Yeah,
Why do you
100%.
think that? I can come up with my own prognosis, but why do you think that they were treated better
Because
than you?
they were her obviously her direct blood off. Does that what I mean? Offspring. Does that what I mean? Yeah.
So once you returned back, what was your relationship like with your dad? We spoke about you said about that, the dad in the early days would be a little bit coarse, kicking the bike, etc., and maybe having to, leave you while he goes to work. Once you returned back, now slightly older, what was he like in comparison to, stepmom? What was he like with you? What was your
To be honest,
relationship?
yeah, I preferred him, but he was just mainly working all the time. So does that what I mean? The main contact was mainly with her. A lot of the time he was out. He was kind of like the breadwinner for the family. So he was always out.
Mm,
And then obviously when he used to do ninjutsu. So obviously every so often his friends would come round and just I mean they'll be in the garden, training with nunchuckers and doing weights and stuff like that. But yeah, there were times when I actually went out with my dad. I did go out, but yeah, in terms of like good memories, yeah, man, I can't honestly really. I'd be lying to you if I can tell when I say to you they were very. I mean, there were times when
mm,
she took me to Jersey. I remember one time I went to Jersey.
that's nice.
You know, yeah, she took me to Jersey. But yeah, in terms of yeah, honestly, dear, I can't. I was just very unhappy, man. You know what I mean? And I just
Mm.
always felt like I was standing on eggshells.
Excel.
You
Tell
know what I mean?
us what was your father's background? Where's he from? So the stepmom's Nigerian, did you say, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
My dad is
Where was
Guyanese.
that? Hmm?
He's Guyanese.
Chinese.
Yeah,
Okay. How long?
yeah.
How long did the relationship like this persist for? I mean, there's a time when you went back to your mom's. Take us. Let's get to that part of the story. So you stayed at your father's house with your stepmom for how long?
for years.
For years.
Yeah. When I say years, like to the point I was still in is it junior school?
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And obviously
Mm.
it was, yeah, it was, man. Just thinking back now, obviously,
It
like, yeah,
sounds, it
it
sounds
was,
challenging. It's like bringing you back. But as you are recollecting,
yeah.
in reflection of also the comment, considering you returned back after like so long and then experiencing being very unhappy, what I would then ask is, did you ever wish that you could have gone back to the foster house, or were you quite content to be
No,
with your?
no, I didn't even think that. But I tell you
Yeah.
one thing, like, this thing, I even know, I just got this, you know, when enough's enough. And I can tell you this, yeah, I remember it. One day, I don't know, she did something, because anytime, yeah, there's, I don't want to obviously string this out. Cut a long story short,
Yeah, go on.
she got into a serious car accident, and she had a car crash in Kidbrook,
Okay.
and she fractured her pelvis, and it was
Wow.
quite bad, yeah. And she was really injured, and she went to hospital
Hmm.
in Greenwich at the time. Greenwich Hospital was obviously there. It's not now, they've changed it. It's not there now. It's a library, but they I tell you no word of a lie, and this is not me being evil. Like, I experience an element of
Did you call me
peace.
D? Have you been calling me D throughout this interview?
Divine. Yeah.
I know you've been. I've noticed. Big up Divine, yeah, but I is not Divine. Yeah, I is Silver. Yeah, you
So
can call me
sweet.
Free or Flow if you like.
Yeah, free.
But it's all right.
My
We love
my
D. Yeah, go
my
on.
good, my good. Sorry. Um,
Go on.
yeah, when she went in hospital, it's gonna, yeah, I'll be honest with you, like, that was the first time in a long time I experienced peace. As
No,
cold
I
as it
get
may
it.
sound,
I know
yeah,
it
as cold as
doesn't.
it
I
may
get
sound,
it. I get it.
yeah,
You had a bit of a
yeah, I was,
universal karma, and you had your peace
yeah,
of mind.
man, it was, yeah, and she was in the hospital for a while,
Wow.
and I think, yeah, man, and when I yeah, when she came back, man, it was, yeah, it was, she came out the crutches, and then what would happen is anytime she wanted anything, it'd be like this. So from
Wow.
upstairs, she would just use her crutches to say, "Oh, bring up my hot water
She
bottle,
didn't,
or
she
bring up
didn't have a
this."
bell like back in the day. She didn't have no little bell. Like, it's a big banging and thing. Did you ever
No,
play like I don't hear anyone banging? What's that noise? Have we got like I don't
no,
hear?
no, I did not. It was literally, yeah, man. It was just, you know what I mean? Get me the water bottle, or go to the shop and get me this. You
Mm,
know what I mean? I remember one time, yeah. I mean, no, one time, a couple of times. Like, I used to
you still
free, a couple of
calling?
times,
Yeah, it's all
free,
right.
yeah. Then I'm like, um, my bad,
Are you
yeah.
seeing this, verbs? Are you seeing this? Yeah.
I see him
I, I,
laughing,
I had to
Carry on.
pull
Let,
up D on this live, but she's doing another live
let,
at the moment. But
let,
go on.
let me give it. I shouldn't give him a cyber slap. Let him carry on. I remember. I
Go
remember a
on.
lot. I remember. One day, I just had enough,
Go on.
and
What happened?
I just broke down into. I want to go live with my mum. That's what I said.
Good.
I want to go live with my mum. Yeah, it just, when, because I was scared. Yeah,
Mm.
I was scared to say anything. Does
Mm.
that what I mean? But there was
Mm.
something in me that just came out. I was crying. Do you know what she
Yeah.
said to me? Go and cry in your dad's ears. That's what she said to me. And
I
my
remember
dad,
you saying it to me. Mm.
yeah, at the time, my dad, obviously, I'd come into the bedroom. I think this was at night time. My dad was sleeping. I said, yeah, go and cry into your dad's ears. So I went round to the side of the
Mm.
bed,
Mm.
and, you know, my dad woke up and he's like, I said, I want to go live with my mum. I said to him, I want to go live with my mum. And he said,
And
so,
what age were you when you had this moment of epiphany? Like, I need to leave now.
yeah, just within that age bracket between,
Secondary
yeah, eight
school
and 10.
stage.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Is
So
what I
when she
mean?
said,
And obviously,
"Go and cry on your dad's ears," do you remember how that statement made you feel? What did you feel?
I was a bit scared, didn't it? Because obviously I was crying, and then obviously my dad at that stage woke up and he goes, you wanna go," and he took it serious because obviously then he made the arrangements, isn't it? And then
Mm.
and all of a sudden now, I'll buy you a TV.
Who said
I'll
this?
do
Was
this.
the stepmom
See,
or
yeah, I'll do this.
how comes?
Yeah,
How
man.
comes? What was that
But she
change
didn't
for?
want me to. She
What was
didn't want me
that?
to go.
Why is that?
She didn't.
Do you think?
Huh?
Why was that? Do you think?
Probably no longer being able to have a slave. Mistreatment. Yeah, man. It was. Oh, honestly, D, man. I wouldn't even wish that on my worst enemy. It was bad, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like if I can really just backtrack and just really think back, yeah, it was bad. I remember even one stage being hit with her crutches, the metal crutches. The ones. Yeah,
Wow.
one time, man. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah, man. If she
Uh,
was,
this for
boy,
you whilst we're talking. I've put Silver in the comments box.
yeah.
But I thought I'd just remind everybody of my name, especially the guest, who knows me very well.
I feel bad now. I feel bad.
It's all right. Yeah. Like the name Silver ain't dope enough. On to you. What do you?
Yeah,
Anywho, so sorry, slight
yeah.
joke in the middle of
No, that's all right.
conversation.
Yeah, yeah,
No, don't feel bad. I'm also playing with you.
yeah.
So when she realized that you wanted to leave, you are saying that you felt and feel that the absence of someone being her skivvy,
I would say definitely that, man. But honestly,
that's
man,
so hurtful,
I was.
man. That really hurt my heart when you said that, honestly.
What's that? The
What do you mean, what's that? What you just said. Like the fact that, she may miss someone to run around and do things for her.
Yeah, because
As you
it
said,
was honestly free. I'll tell you no lie. This thing, imagine being upstairs and then you just hear that. I'm downstairs and I'm just hearing that was with her
sorry.
crutches.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Forgive me, guys. It's a serious moment conversation, but there's a bit of a humor happening here, and I'm responsible. Without your superpower glasses, you come like someone said, your cousin, you're a bit idle-minded, yeah. Without your superpower glasses,
Oh no, this comment looks like I was that.
you
I
could have
just said. I just
you
sent
could have
him.
dragged some trees today. Look, I put mine on, so look, I've got powers, isn't it?
D, do you know what I'm gonna do? I
Then
just
you
sent him a
hearing this?
comment.
I'm D again, but go on.
Free, free. I've just sent him a comment
So,
and Instagram have flagged it, so I'm not gonna post it. I don't want to mess up the
what
live.
happened?
I put a comment that I'm gonna slap you, and then they flagged it up. I'm
Did they
going
plug it
to,
off?
yeah. So I'm just gonna put this. I'm going to,
Goodness. Oh my God, these people are on you. Okay, okay,
yeah. So
wow,
I
okay.
just that's why I put the little dots. It came up with a big yeah.
I didn't see that. Oh my days. Instagram is on you all the time. All right, so let's slowly wind down. So let's bring it to a crescendo of this,
Yeah.
this topic. And so far, guys, on a serious note, whilst I still have giggles with the boys, yeah. Big up Burps, yeah, from Triggered Thoughts podcast as well. Can't forget him all day long. Yeah, I trim for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, always. Um, so far, guys, we have got as far as Genius, why he went into care, what care was like for him, life after returning back to his family's house, for those who's watching this or may watch the playback, and then you feeling basically fed up of living in that condition of how you're being treated. You returned back to, she then wanted to offer you um,
So
gifts and so on to keep you within the home. What happened then?
I'd now gone back to my biological mum.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I told my mum about the experiences, and my mum was horrified. I told my aunties. I remember one of my aunties, RIP, because she no longer here. She said, "Slavery days are over," and yeah, it was bad. She was calling, come back, yeah, man,
Come back, yeah? Did you ever
yeah,
see her up from then till now? Have you ever seen her again?
yeah.
When did you see her? Are you in touch with her now?
Boy,
Are you,
I
are you
tell you,
are you still in
you,
touch with her now?
mate, if I'd.
Come on, before we wrap this talk up, give us the crescendos as we slowly wind down the live.
Do you, boy, if I
But
cut long
say
story
what you're
short,
comfortable saying. But if you
cut,
say
cut along.
if you say what you're uncomfortable saying, allow it to be based on growth, which means if we tap into uncomfortability, we know it's going to help us, then do that. If it's not
Cut
going to
along.
have any empowerment on you by expressing it, then don't do that.
Yeah, no. Cut a long story short,
So feel free to express.
yeah, yeah,
I'm all ears.
yeah. Um, yeah, I got back in contact obviously after a while. One thing with me, I don't hold grudges, isn't it?
Mm.
So obviously I'm older now, innit? And obviously, yeah, got back in contact. But
So you
yeah,
wait. So you initiated contact with her.
no, what it was, my sister. Obviously I'm the oldest out of all the siblings, but obviously I
Okay.
had contact with one of my sisters that is obviously her mum, her
Right.
biological mum.
Okay.
So
Uh huh.
through that somehow we managed to get speaking. Does that I mean?
Uh huh.
And obviously I never spoke about what happened back then. That's never ever been a topic of this discussion. Does that I mean? I can say that to you, fat. Yeah, I never ever spoken about the past experience. Obviously, what I
Have
went
you
through
ever
with her, but
wanted to? Is there anything that you feel ideally, if you were welcome to have that dialogue, is there anything that you'd want to say to her?
no, to be honest with you, no,
So you're at peace.
I just, not, I'm not,
You're at
I'm not
peace with that.
interested. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, not interested. That's what I mean. But
Mm.
yeah. Cut a
Okay.
long story short, there was a serious violation that was done, and obviously at the time I was staying, with my dad a
Hmm.
good couple of years ago, and her and my sister made a phone call and tried to say, oh, my dad was obviously subletting whatnot. And then on top of that, they made an anonymous, I don't know if it was an email or something, set up a fake account and tried to tell social services that, the children are not be looked after and all the madness there. But how I knew
Wait,
it was
go,
them,
go back. So your stepmom did this,
yeah, yeah, and my sister, yeah.
and you lived with your mother at the time.
No, no, this is a good couple of years. I say
Oh,
probably about, yeah, a good
so
couple of
what was
years ago.
so you a couple of years. So this you're now a
So
whole
what I was
adult.
speaking,
What was
remember
the,
you said to me, obviously the speaking in it. So
yeah.
I'm just letting you know because you
Yeah,
said,
no,
oh,
I'd
yeah,
like to know what was the motive for her to give. You're now a whole adult. What was her motive now to be doing this?
it was jealousy because obviously at the time, my wife had become good friends with my stepbrother's
Mm,
wife, who is now wife, and
mhm.
obviously they don't like her. So when they found out that my wife had become friends and met up, that was a serious problem. It was a serious problem. So that was the motive. This what I mean? Because as far as they're concerned, we don't like her. You shouldn't be talking to her. So that warranted
So they
that.
made up allegations that clearly you're not able to speak about, right? So, okay,
Mm,
right,
mm.
okay, okay. Do you have any other thoughts you'd like to express in regards to your stepmother before we kind of?
Nah, one thing I would say to people, like, obviously, you see, you see in life, yeah,
Mm,
not everybody's strong, and there are people
mm,
that probably have experienced some of what I've gone through, even probably a lot worse. As you know, there are people that sadly end up dying in certain situations. They don't actually live to tell the
yeah,
tale. But if you're out there and you have or are going through anything like this, get help, man. It's nothing to just get help. School, college. I don't know.
tell
Speak
somebody.
out. That's what I mean. Yeah,
Mm,
speak out, man. Because I imagine it took. I've been going through this as a youth for a long time, and it
mm,
just took that burst of encouragement for me to just had enough. There was something that just I don't know went off in my head, and I just said, "No, man, I'm not happy with this. I want out." I think
mm,
what would have happened is I probably would have ended up running off, although I didn't really know and have the
yeah,
understanding of
yeah,
running away.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because obviously growing up back then, it was old school.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, but I was D honestly. So yeah, free. So you know.
All right. So when you went back to your mum's house, do let us know that before we wrap up that bit and wind it down to
Mm.
a slow close. Um, how would you describe your experience returning back to your mother's property? What was that
Oh
like
man,
for you?
happy, happy. I,
Yeah.
I was able to do normal things, go out to play outside, play in the balcony, go to the shop, meet friends, play computer game. That's what I mean. Watch videos. Watch. Yeah, but I could reel off 100 of things. Imagine you going from a place where you're like a slave.
Mm-hmm.
No having no friends, no personal life, and the only form of freedom is going to get the news of the world, going to get the bloom a loaf of bread, and yeah, just going to the shop, and what I saw as a special treat was going out to go and visit families. That was excitement for me because there wasn't physically nothing else. Does that mean that I could actually do?
So we have a question from Vibes, and she would like to know, what's your relationship with your mother and the other and your father now? What's it like now?
With my biological mum
Mm-hmm. And your
and my
father.
dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's normal. It's not great, not perfect, but it's
Mm-hmm.
normal. Like I talk to them. You know what I mean? But I won't go as far as saying that I'm very close with them. That's what I mean. I talk to
Mm-hmm.
them. That's what I mean. Yeah.
So let's get to some of the closed questions, if you don't mind. Yeah. Before I
Yeah.
do that, is there anything else? Please feel free that I didn't get to ask you, or you'd rather initiate yourself, that you didn't get a chance to express, that you would like to mention or express in any capacity of so far of before I get to the closed questions and we end the live that you would like to share that's important to you.
Yeah.
Feel free.
For parents, as a parent myself, I definitely would say, if you, it's a tough one, because obviously I actually know of people that are in care because obviously some people cannot cope. Does what I mean? But I would say, like just try and be there for your children, man. It's so important if you
Mm-hmm.
can, because my although my experience being in care wasn't it was a good experience. I don't have any
I'm
I
so
don't have
glad
any bad
for you.
memories.
I'm
But
glad
sad as
for
you
you.
know, nowadays you hear of a lot of stuff free. Does what I mean? You hear
Mm-hmm.
of abuse and pedophilic behavior and stuff like that. It's not nice. So I
Mm-hmm.
would I would
Not
say,
there.
yeah, man. For
Mm-hmm.
those of you that are out there that might happen to just be seeing this, if you are going through any sort of abuse, just find the courage to speak out, man. You see what I
Mm,
mean? Yeah, please. There is so much. There are so much organizations and stuff that are available now compared to
back in the
30
day.
years ago.
Yeah,
And so
yeah,
I mean, if you feel that you're not free to speak at home, there's speak to someone at school, speak to someone. There's someone. Does that I mean
yeah.
someone that that you can trust. You know what I mean? Because it's a horrible thing when you don't have a good childhood. Because remember,
Mm-hmm.
as a child, when you reach a certain age, there's memories that you will have for the rest of your life. That's why
Oh, God,
me
yeah,
and my missus do our best to make sure we create good childhood memory for these boys that we have. This I mean,
100%.
what
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get, I don't spoil these children, but what I didn't have or what I didn't get as a child in terms of emotional love,
Mm-hmm.
care, tender loving care, all these stuff. These children get it. Is that what I mean?
I'm so
I'm a,
glad to.
I'm a,
How many children do you have, and what are the
two,
genders of
two,
these
two
children?
boys, two
Three boys.
boys.
And what are
Yeah,
their
two
ages
boys.
now?
Um, Name is going to be 13. Noah is going to be 11. So Name is 12. Noah is 10.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's quite an age group that's quite reflective to you and what we're
yeah,
talking about now. Do you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I have a thank you for sharing that. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm
All
free
right.
to
Thank you
answer any
so much for
questions.
that.
Yeah.
Guys, if there's
Mm.
any questions you'd like to add into the comments as we wind down this live, please feel free. I have a very, very prominent statement actually, as well as maybe even a question. And as we're speaking, it brings me back to what we all are aware of. But when we're going through our own personal journey,
Yeah,
it doesn't always seem, maybe more so now, it doesn't always seem in the forefront of the mind, which is how does one navigate being more careful with who we bring into our homes as stepfather or stepmother figures?
that's
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
I'm
it's
going to go
true.
into this side of the conversation now. Yeah,
Mm.
it's paramount. Whilst we were talking, that I didn't express my opinion because it's your autobiographical life, and it's important now that I kind of add these little elements.
Mm.
As we know, guys, and I'm going to touch a few points of this roll with me, okay? Let me start off, if you don't mind, as mothers. When for a lot, not all, for many single mothers, when you're restricted to the house, to the home, yes, you get single fathers. Big up the single fathers, absolutely. But I guess there is more single mothers than fathers. Yeah. When parents who are single parents have small children, as you are aware, we're going to be restricted to the home, and often not everyone's able to be disciplined and put away our that need for companion till later. Not everyone has that ability to be
Mm.
disciplined. Not everyone has the ability to say, guess what? The child is young, let me just bring out my dirty laundry while they don't know. When they get to some age, I'll stop that. Not everyone has that ability to navigate. So often there's a lot of women, especially men for women, going in and out the house. And a lot of dynamical damage does happen within that time. Yeah. Then you might have a case where it wasn't even like that. The person might have just had one person in 30 years or 15
Mm.
years. I'm speaking for the cases that are not positive. There's going to be lots of
Mm.
positive parents that's been step parents. There's many positive, and salute to you who's made an impact positively on that girl or boy who you've taken on as your own. I'm
Mm.
grateful. We're grateful for that. Yeah. But I'm speaking of on the back of what we're talking about, and thousands, millions of, we watch the news. And at the same time, I am actually a family support worker. That ought to let you know, if you know, you know. That means, you know, I often get to see behind the scenes,
Yeah.
you know, multiple different dynamics of where I may go. So my experience, I do have a deep compassion for this story as well. Um, So yeah, I'm just saying us as a people. I mean, again, I say my son's hard back now. He's 30, he's going to be 32. My time's gone.
Bless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my time gone. It's free.
Mm.
Yeah, sorry, I thought I'd say that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I was once a baby who had a baby, and I gave myself two trials on whether I can, have the, positively impactful stepfather, and it didn't work. And quite within immediately, I let it go, because if I didn't make that work of two, and neither of them was my son's biological, I chose to park it up until he was old enough. And I still parked it up all now.
Mm.
All now, I'm trying to get it together.
Mm.
But what I'm saying is, for one, I never wanted my son to say, you're not with my father and you brought a bag of man in there. I didn't want him. If I was going to make
Yeah.
one error, I wasn't going to keep making it of him pointing fingers. That was going to be
That's
for
good.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
That's
going to be
good. Yeah.
for sure. So
That's
whatever
good.
I had to sacrifice, I was going to do it.
That's
So all my any kind
amazing.
of dirty truck laundry was out of road. You better believe that. No, straight. I'm human,
That's
but it
good, man.
wasn't going to
Yeah.
happen, for him to be able to say, boy, boy, But
Mm.
getting back to the point, it's so paramount that we're honest with ourselves, man. Whether you're a woman or whether you're a man, that we're honest with ourselves, with who we brought in our lives around our children, man. We know, we're not stupid. Many, even women, are aware of who they brought in their house around their children.
Yeah.
And you
100%,
still
man.
have the man around, not considering you're going to have a conversation one day with those children. They're going to say, Mum, why? Why did you let this happen to
Mm.
us? Or why did you let this happen to
Mm.
us, Dad? Why? And
Absolutely. Yeah.
usually those parents don't want to have that conversation. They act like they don't remember anything. It never happened.
Mm.
And that's the
It's true.
problem. So I'm just
It's
going to
true.
say, somehow, somewhere, whether we get a network of other parents that can support us and become friends and go through those years, that we all need companionship, we all need love, and we need sex too. You understand? We need the
Yeah.
sex too. But at the same time, well, yeah,
Yeah.
toys don't work for everyone, baby. Sometimes you got the real. But
Yeah.
you're gonna have to navigate. I'm asking these parents, especially the
Mm.
babies who were having babies like I was, please be more selective.
Yeah. 100%. I agree with
Because
what you
going on
said,
what you
man. Yeah.
experienced, I love that. I appreciate that Dad had his partner, but
Mm.
at the fault of at the compromise of his child's well-being.
Mm.
And we know that parents know. There's many stories more traumatic than yours, and the parents out and they never knew. They know things are happening. They always know.
Can I add something in quickly? I
Please
don't want to
do.
take you off
No,
topic.
no,
Do you
please
know?
do.
Yeah. You know she sold the house in Charlton. Listen to
Mhm,
this. You're gonna love
mhm,
this bit. Obviously, they
mhm,
broke up. They broke up many years ago. They were
mhm.
married. Guess how much you think? How much do you think I got and my dad got? Obviously, minus me. Obviously, I didn't. The house, I didn't pay anything towards it. How much do you
Mhm.
think my dad got from the check? How much do you reckon she gave him? You're
I
gonna
have
love this.
no idea.
Just, just,
I can't even guess.
just guess.
No, I
Just
can't. I
roughly
can't
guess.
even guess.
He got £2,000 and I got £500 check.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I really was off the mark. Wow. Okay.
Imagine this is a house that they bought together. He was contributing and paying the majority of the bills in the house,
And they
and
separated now, right?
yeah, 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 and she gave him, yeah, because I remember he gave me a check of £500 and he got a check for £2,000.
But in regards
Just
to
to
that
let you know.
house, I don't know how you feel, but it didn't owe you anything. So the fact that you got anything is a bonus.
100,
Unless you
100.
did, no, 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 hear me. Unless you're talking about cultural, some cultures there's a pecking order of what you would, and for
I didn't even
example,
expect to get anything. No, it's true, but I was like,
I'm saying to you, you were a
yeah,
child that didn't put nothing towards the house. Probably
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
was a kid,
They didn't
innit?
have to
Yeah,
give you.
yeah, yeah.
They didn't have to give you a dry Andrex toilet paper for your ass. The fact that you
Yeah, it's
got
true.
500, you're bright, especially from birth. You're lucky to rotted. I
Compensation.
was about to say that. But for your dad, that might have been a bit of slap in the face. And daddy, it wasn't worth it, was it? The whole thing. After all, not none of it.
Yeah. Mm.
But,
I love free. I
you
love what you
know?
said now. I love what you said about it's important that people choose who they get with as partners because honestly, man, I don't know if you see some of the stuff I put up with where relationship the partner ends up killing the woman, killing
Oh,
the kids.
if anything, we can schedule that because I want to
Yeah,
get into that on another talk too.
yeah,
How
yeah,
much
yeah,
women
yeah,
are dying
100%.
in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
hands of
Let me
men
know,
as well.
man. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
happy to do another.
let's
Yeah, yeah,
schedule
yeah,
that.
definitely.
But I just want to
Yeah.
say, guys, that we often say things like be careful, choose wisely, as I just said. But I'm also going to say this: we know full well in this generation, you could have downloaded them from a computer with Clear's Law and FBI behind it. There are there are so many people, especially women, especially I'm
Yeah.
just saying, who may have been with that partner for 10, 20, 30 years, and he still murdered her.
Yeah. It's true.
So
It's
I'm
true.
just saying we can be
Mm.
mindful, we can be extra selective, but
Mm.
you don't know what you don't know. And it's always a side of somebody you don't know. I don't care if you've been there for 30 years, it's always a side of somebody you don't know.
Mm.
And it's often that side that we've struggled with from childhood.
Yeah, it's true.
And some of us mask it very well.
Mm.
And it comes under the banner of a great job and a great degree and the barrister, and it comes under all these wonderful names. And that's how a lot of these people end up doing things to youngsters because you got the roles to be exposed to children.
Mm. It's
So it's
true.
deep. There's so much layers. But I have to say, for those who are selective, for those who are monitorized and carry themselves decently as parents, that boy, unless you are got some different kind of powers, you don't
Mm.
know. Sometimes you know, but there's times when you don't know because it comes
Mm.
in a package that is impressive, whether they're spiritual, whether they're religious, or whether they're hardworking and they work with the youths. These are
Mm.
the kind of things that impress us as people. I
Yeah,
don't
it's true.
I don't mean impressed by money. I just mean impressed in the roles. He works with children and he's for the church and
Mm.
these are the things that. But it doesn't. I mean, so I'm just going to say, wow, it's not as it used to be, and it's really sticky times, really
Mm.
sticky times. But as I give you my last close question, before I ask you your afterthoughts, I'd like to ask you, for the sake of the viewers, most importantly now, let's bring it to the here and now. Everything else was the past. It was humanistic, as we call it. Um, uh, psychodynamic, the past, as we call it. Yeah, they call it in counselling terms, psychodynamic, going back to the past. Let's bring it to the here and now. For you as an adult now, Your experiences as a young boy, most of it didn't seem devastatingly traumatic. Thank God you had some
Yeah,
more good times than
yeah.
bad times in care.
Mm.
Yeah. Um, did any of your childhood experiences impact you as a man now in terms of how you engineer your relationships as an adult? Then I'm going to also ask you after that, how has it impacted you as a father? But you've mentioned similar to how you make up the memories for your children, so on. But in terms of like, has it had any negative impact on you as a man, a lover, a partner, in terms of how that's impacted your personal adult relationships? What you've experienced as a child, because that's often where it shows up, right? Childhood
I,
experiences in our relationships.
yeah, I tell you how it's impacted me in a sense where I just want to make sure that what I didn't have, or the good things I didn't experience in terms of, unconditional love, being free, happy. I want to make sure that my children don't go through the bad things that I experienced as a child. So in terms of, like,
That's fatherhood you're speaking of now, right? Okay.
yeah, that, because obviously I know what I experienced. So now
Mm.
it's always kind of, I don't think about my child, to be honest with you, but in terms of just making sure that I'm the best father as can be, that's why, I make sure that the stuff that I didn't experience, I make sure I compensate and do for my children. Does that what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
my oldest one, how are you? How's school? Have you experienced any bullying?
That's important.
How's, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm there for him. I educate him on a lot of stuff
Mm-hmm.
that he needs to know as he's getting older to now, go out into the bigger, wider world. So I just make sure,
Absolutely.
that I prepare him beforehand. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and I always make sure, for me, what's important, I always make sure that he knows that he's got myself, or, my wife,
Yeah.
that,
Mm-hmm.
like, please, I say to him, I don't care how small it is, reach out to any of us, because I feel, free flowing, that a lot of these youths, they don't have a close connection with their parents. They don't. I can confidently say that, because obviously there
Mm-hmm.
is people, there's youths that speak to me, and they might see, oh, how I am with my
Mm-hmm.
children, and there's certain things that they say. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I feel that as parents, it's so important that we have that connection with our child or children, to the point that we can say confidently on hand and heart that if there is an issue, if they're going through something, they won't hesitate to say or reach out.
This is what I'm going through. Okay, that's
Yeah,
amazing. I'm glad because, as you guys know, we can either go one way or the other. There
yeah,
are people, whether it's
yeah.
siblings of mine, whether
Mm,
it's friends I've known, or
mm,
other professionals or clients, where because of the absence of perhaps affection, or the absence of understanding, or the
mm,
absence of communication, they have then grown to be completely the same, you know.
mm.
Whereas again, I may say, coming from a mixed Caribbean background, I may have had all the solid stuff, the food, the lovely bedroom, but I
Yeah,
never had a red
yeah,
bill. But the lack of communication and
yeah,
that softness of affection that was absent for
yeah.
me. So I always gave that to my younger sibling or my niece or my son, killing with love. My son was fed up of me. I just loved him so much. Fed up of me. Fed up of me.
You're
Yeah.
doing a good job, man. You're
Killing
doing
him.
a good
But you
job.
know what? He'd also say, don't watch her, yeah, because she was strict as hell. So yeah, I was very
Yeah,
strict. I never sport him. Because
yeah.
sometimes when you feel like something's absent, you can misplace that and then start spoiling them.
It's true.
Yes, I didn't.
It's true.
I only.
Mm,
I think I say I spoiled him with love and affection, but when it comes to discipline, in terms of, I was rigid when it comes, because obviously people will be like, "Oh, single moms can't raise boys." It wasn't going to happen in my house. Whatever stupidness you done was out of my house.
mm. I
Yeah,
love
the
that. I
stupidness
love
he
that. I
be
love that.
doing out of my house.
Yeah,
Do you understand?
yeah.
So very different. But the question I also wanted to close on is: has your childhood at all impacted you as a man, as a partner? The reason why I asked that, often people will go from one partner to another, not you or everybody, I'm just saying, or they are more recoiled where they don't want any at all, or they become quite needy or clingy or need extra reassurance. They may have that anxious attachment style or that avoidant attachment style based on what they experience. I mean, does any of that resonate with you? Like, did any of it impact on how you were as a boyfriend and now as a husband
I'd say,
based on your childhood?
to be quite honest with you, I'd definitely say, in my teenage years, I was definitely reckless, like the
Mhm.
sleeping around and stuff like that. Does that what I mean?
Mm.
You know, and the lack of, yeah, I would say, yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Obviously, I was reckless in terms of how I was, live my life. I didn't care attitude. I was
So you don't
never,
put that down to being a boy or a man. You put that was that off the back of what you experienced as a boy? You're saying as a
I'd
child,
say,
why
yeah, I
you were
think
like
it's, I
that?
think what it was, during that period of time, I was struggling to commit. I'd say definitely, yeah, struggling to commit, and I didn't want
Mm.
to wholly give my all, if that made sense. I was never, horrible or disrespectful to
Mm.
any of the people. Just what I mean, like they would never say I was. That's one thing with me, and it would always be, oh, why can't it be more serious? And I'd be like, no, I'm just not
Mm.
really looking for commitment. So
Mm.
I wouldn't even go as far as saying a player. And I was not like that. I was just obviously I was going through a
Mm.
phase in my life where, yeah, I was just sleeping around. It wasn't anything I was proud of, but it was that phase, that
Women, I'm
phase in
so
my life.
sorry that we can't say the same publicly and get away with it, but
I know it's sad because obviously it's more frowned at when it comes to
no,
women, isn't it?
I'm
And it's a
saying
bit,
there's a bit of a comical side note.
mm,
Forgive me. I don't compare us in that way. We
mm.
know our positions. We just everyone can't be the same, and I wouldn't want to be the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
as a
yeah.
guy. But I
Mm,
said it as a side note because there's going to be lots of women, loads, 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 and many men has told me they've experienced this, and they feel like the majority of women they've been through has had some kind of abuse. And
mm,
there are women that I know and love who was highly promiscuous. And
mm.
I've told some, even relatives or brothers or friends that not every woman you see who loves sex actually loves sex because they don't all love it. It's because they've been used to having it as a child.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So
Yeah.
sometimes our behavior has an impact on other reasons for why we are the way we are, why one is frigid, why one is not, and then you have the ones that's in the middle. So this depends. It's a bit like me growing up. Now I'm like, apparently, I'm like men say they got to be in a straitjacket to talk to me. Like, but that's because maybe I wasn't as militant when I was in my 20s.
It's good,
So
but
I picked a couple of crap because I was in that frame of mind of crap. It's a reflection of my mind, my
yeah.
choices. So as now past the 20s, I turned into like, Miss Hitler, it seemed like.
Well done. I love that. Well done, man. Set the
Well
bar high.
done. Listen, if I did
Yeah,
that
set the
easier,
bar high.
listen
Set
to
the
me. If
bar
I,
high, man.
listen to me. Listen,
Yeah.
yeah, but you set the bar so high. There's no one available to even. Do I need to go into this? Yeah.
No, but that's good because
Setting
that
the
at least
bar
you're
so
not going to get any
high for
riffraff. You're not going to
myself.
get any riffraff, innit?
No,
Simple.
absolutely. But let me
Yeah.
tell you, depending on where you're living, the climate, that may mean you just keep dating yourself forever because that may mean the bar's at a level where it doesn't really exist in the quarters that you're in. But that's for another dating show. We can move on.
Yeah, make sure you add me. We do this again, man.
Oh, you know. So now, guys, any last words for the
Yeah.
genius man before I do the afterthoughts and close this live? Otherwise, we're going to be here all night. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. All right. So let's send some thank yous and stuff in the inbox and send your last comments while I ask G, and I can go back to the comments just before I close the live. It's been a long
Mm.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
G, today we have discussed the autobiographical life of the genius man, life in, within, and after care. How have you found tonight's live talk? What's your afterthoughts?
Man, you've been phenomenal. I can't lie.
Thank
You've been absolutely
you.
brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. I think whenever doing any sort of lives with you free flowing, I'll be honest with you, man, like it just, the time just goes like that.
It
Like
does.
the way you orchestrate and the questions, and yeah, you're brilliant. You're
Thank
absolutely
you.
brilliant. That's why I always look forward to, anytime you've got anything, that's why yeah, just let me know. If I'm
I will.
available, I'll do it.
I came looking
Yeah.
for you for a reason. Yeah. And you surprised. So listen, guys.
Yeah.
Today, I said to him, "Are you going to wear the glasses? I want to see your eyes." Yeah. But I was like, "I'm the glasses queen." So, but I tend to
Yeah, yeah,
when I'm a guest speaker, I don't mind it going a
yeah,
little bit more tinted. But
yeah.
and I said to him, "But no, by all means, do wear your
No,
glasses." And
you did say that.
today
You did,
you
but
you pulled up on me today.
you know what it is? I'll be honest with you. is when you said, is something that you said that resonated when you said that, your eyes are the window to the soul, but also the topic, as you said before, is quite a sensitive, deep topic. So you said it would be
Yeah.
good for people to be able to see your eyes. Does that what I mean? So I thought, you know what? I said, you know what? Actually, she's right. I said, you know what? Let me try and do this.
Mm.
Yeah. So I like the fact that you obviously you said, you know what? Ideally, I would prefer, but don't watch me. It's about you.
I
So
did say that, didn't
it's
I?
yeah.
Mm.
So what I like about you, like you're just so honest.
Mm.
Yeah, you're honest and you
Thank
tell it
you.
as it is, but you're not. You don't have any sort of how can I put it? You have some people they're just very controlling. You're not like that. So when you added
Not,
that part in,
no.
you said ideally.
Hello.
I said if you can.
Hello. Only in the bedroom, darling. I just heard Instagram go bleep. Controlling now. This is a community page. So guys
Hmm.
and guys, don't watch my banter. I'm just cheeky. I always been there. Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Yeah,
No. But no, when it comes to free flowing thoughts, it's a community
yeah.
page. And so if someone wanted to do the live while they were laying in bed, I would have no issue with it. No, no, no.
Yeah, I would do that.
It's free. No, it's not. A community page means I don't want to orchestrate how people express themselves. I would always
Yeah,
suggest if I can see a better rendition for marketing for that person, but
yeah.
I don't. It's the whole point of free flowing means I don't control people's flow.
I
Do you understand?
like it. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I like it. I
on
like
another
it.
page that I may create, it may be a bit different. But no, this is about
Mm.
community. And so, yeah, I give people the complete right to bring their own topics to me or for me to suggest. And I just let people do what they want to do, whatever they want to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Genius, you've been amazing. Thank you
No,
so
bless you.
very
Thank
much. Let me
you.
go
Thank you.
laugh into the comments. Verbs is laughing at us. Yeah.
Mm.
Uh, right. Do you know what? Oh, God. Let me put on these. I can't see anything. Yeah, you don't having a whole private chat between you two. I am Kay says thanks for sharing. Vibes, big up yourself, Vibes. Thanks for always being here. Hi, Iva. Thank you for your support always. He says great show tonight. I know it's been a long one, so thanks for staying with us. Sometimes, guys, I want to have it in an hour, but I just feel like if I don't have this, not BBC TV where I'm kind of locked into an hour. So sometimes I feel like when you're rushing someone with a talk like this, it doesn't sit right with me.
Mm.
Yeah, free flowing. Are you an Aquarius by any chance? No, madam. I is a Taurus. Yeah, I don't believe
That's
what
the
they
boy,
say.
innit?
Well, believe everything they say about us. Yeah, they say we're stubborn. I just say I'm strong-willed.
Mm.
What are you, Vibes? What are you? What else? Verbs. I did the same. You pick up the. Hang on. You pick up the project. Right. Avoidance of commitment. Yeah. Okay. All right, big up yourself, everybody, guys. If any before actually no, I'll let Genius depart before I go into the next segment of what I want to express. But guys, thank you so much for staying with us. Hold on an extra 5 minutes, viewers, whilst I wish Genius a goodbye. I'll
Yeah,
see you
thank you.
again soon.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Let
Thank you for
let's
having me.
all 100%, yeah.
Mm.
Let's chit chat whenever in the
Yeah,
next
yeah,
few days
yeah,
while we can
yeah,
and
yeah.
see how our diaries are, people. Yeah,
Mm.
verbs, genius, whatever, individually, solo, together, whatever.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Namaste. Have
Take
a
care.
beautiful
Blessings.
night.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Toodles.
Bye.
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 Uh, oh wow, guys, what did you think of that live? That was amazing. It's always an honor, honestly, it's always an honor doing these types of talks because it allowed me to sit in the belly of kind of psychology and get into the spirit of people. And yeah, soul connect. It's always an honor for me. It's a privilege for me to hear people's journeys. If there's anyone watching this that has experienced care, or perhaps you are a parent or a guardian who made the decision to place your children into care, please contact me. I'd love to hear your story. Genius's story is one of the semi-fortunate ones. We know there's so many renditions of stories that people experience in care, but ultimately we hope that, you know, the care system, at the very least, for those who are wired, you know, wired up correctly, that people, the aim of it is for you to have a safe and supportive environment, or maybe some parents just require respite for a small while before they get returned back to their families. And guys, if there's any other topic other than care, holler at me, inbox me. You know what I'm going to say? Any topic goes as long as it flows. I'll make it happen. Have a good night, guys.